Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Life is Mad. It's Adam here, bringing you back with another story today. And in today's story, we're going to be talking about the time I nearly got kidnapped. And, well, I might be exaggerating this a little bit, but genuinely, I could have been kidnapped in this situation, which is what happened, where somebody tried to get me to get in their car one time. And, well, it was just a very sketchy situation. So we're just going to go through exactly what happened on that day. And before we begin, I just want to say, please leave a like and subscribe. Please get us to 100 subscribers by the end of March. Without wasting any more time, we'll get straight on to the video. So today's story happened about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I was about 13 years old at the time. I looked very young for my age, to be fair, until I was about 15. I looked very, very young for my age. And, well, I went for a bike ride in the summer, and it was about 6 p.m. at night, so it was still pretty bright, but the sun was actually going down a little bit, so it's not, like, sun in the sky bright. But yeah, I was going on a bike ride, and I know lots of my stories actually start with a bike ride, like some of my better stories or worse stories for me start with a bike ride, and this story is no different to them. And, well, basically in today's story, I was there on my bike, I was going for my bike ride, and I was cycling in the forest, and in this forest there is like this little route you take, and my house was on the route basically, so I just go into the forest, go and do the loop, and then I'd go home and I'd take the dog for a walk and stuff. But in today's story, I didn't actually take my dog with me because I think she was at the vet. At the time, we didn't have 2 dogs, we only had 1. And what I decided to do was just go on a bike ride. And I wasn't using my bike, I was using my mum's bike, which was just the same basically. It was just a stock bike, it was just a blue bike. And, well, basically, I was just being a tit on the bike. So I was going around the forest at night on my own. No one was there. It was quite nice, to be fair. It was a nice warm day, but no one was there. So I was cycling around pretty fast. And I started trying to do tricks because I'm a little fucking retard who actually can't do any tricks. But I was trying, and I was trying. And, well, one time when I did the trick, a stick got stuck in the wheel, and literally I came down off the bike, and what happened was the wheel bent inwards, like the wheel bent, and I couldn't cycle it anymore, and I was halfway around the loop, so I had to walk home, and half of the route could have been done by road, and it was a lot easier than dragging my bike through the forest trail. So what I decided to do was try and make it to the road. I just want to say, in this forest there has been a lot of stories, like there is a lot of stuff that I could talk about in this forest, because there's a lot of stuff that went on there. So if you guys want to hear more of these stories from this forest, then I'll be sure to tell you. But we're going to carry on with the story. So moving on from the fact that the bike had literally broken and I could no longer ride on the bike, I literally had to just try and carry it. And at the time, young Adam here was very fat. I was a very fat, plump child. I was extremely fat. I wouldn't say I'm that fat anymore. If you want to see what I look like, go check out my Instagram. I have my face there. If you really don't want to follow, then you can just look because my profile's public. But anyway, so I basically had to carry the bike, and it was like, you could drag it, but after dragging it for a bit, it was just a lot easier to just carry it on my back and just pick it up and just try and carry it in any way I could. And I started making my way towards the road, and the road was like up a slight incline, like a slight hill. So when I've made it to the road finally, it was just silent. There was nobody on the road, which was quite surprising because as I left, it got a lot busier when we moved out. But when I was there at the time, it was silent. There was no one on the road, so I just spent about 5 minutes walking down a forest road with pavement, obviously. I was spent about 5 minutes walking down this road carrying the bike on my back. And, well, at first this doesn't sound that bad, you know, with somebody pulling up to ask if you're okay, but it gets a little more intimidating as it moves on. And what actually happened was I was walking down this track, and I really wasn't that far from my house. I could pretty much see where I lived, and yet there was this woman who pulled up next to me. And it was quite weird already when this woman pulled up next to me, because when I looked in the back of her car just at a glance, you could see through the windows, it's very bright. And, well, all the seats were put down in the back of the car, and it just seemed really dodgy. There was a really weird vibe to it when I could see it. It just literally felt like it was so open on the inside, and you just looked like it was already trapping me when I wasn't even in the car, to be honest. So already I was on edge, like fuck, when she pulled over. But she asked if I was okay, and I said yeah, and I asked her why she was wondering, even though there was a bike on my back. And she turned around and said, yeah, well, I can give you a lift home if you want. And I said, no, it's okay, I just live up this road. She was adamant, you know, to let me in, and I just didn't want to get in the car, because, you know, you just don't get in a stranger's car, even if it does look like they're trying to help you. And, you know, I'm not exactly a victim to be fucking kidnapped in the idea of everybody else is like I'm a guy, first of all, and I'm not 5 years old, so it wasn't really in my head at the time, but it just felt really dodgy, so obviously I said no anyway. I'm not that sort of person to really want to do that either way. But she seemed to get a bit annoyed with me saying no, which put me on edge like a lot, because she went quiet for a second, but she was still driving at about 3-4 miles per hour next to me on a main road, and it kind of put me on edge like fuck. And then luckily I saw a car coming up behind her, and then she drove off down the road past my house, and I thought that was the end of it, because, you know, she'd just driven off. But oh, I was wrong. She'd obviously gone up the road and turned around at the junction at the top, and she came back right around and she pulled up next to me again and started trying to insist on me getting in the car. And I was, at this point, full on shitting my pants. Because I knew at this point I had somebody trying to get me into their car where it just wasn't obviously a safe environment, with her getting annoyed at the fact I don't want to get in the car because I live less than 4 minutes away from where we were walking. So I started to pick up the pace, and she did the same thing again where she got annoyed at me and she pulled up and she was going slowly next to me and she was silent. So for about not more than 10 seconds, but on a main road it's quite scary when there's somebody next to you silently with their windows down looking at you and you're trying to act like they're not there. It was just a really weird vibe for me. And then the car stopped. At this point I completely shit my pants and ran. I did not give any shits. I ran into the forest, like through the shrubs, and it was just a really horrible experience in general because I wasn't about to get fucking kidnapped by a 40-year-old woman. I mean, I doubt she could have got me in the car. I was a fat cunt, but still, it was a terrifying experience. So when I went to the forest, I came back out a couple of minutes later because I didn't really want to be in the middle of the forest either, because it was like 6:30 at this point and it was starting to go a little bit dark. Even though it was summer, it wasn't like middle of summer, so it was going a little bit dark. And when I came back out on the road, she was gone and I was obviously feeling safe, and I didn't really see any of her again, but I just obviously was a bit more wary going into the forest in the future. Obviously the bike was fucked because I just dragged it through loads of shrubbery, so it was scratched up and the wheel was fucking bent, but I was just happy that I wasn't kidnapped because that would have been really embarrassing. I could have just imagined myself being kidnapped and then thinking, I've just been kidnapped by a 40-year-old fucking mother. But anyway, as you can see, it's all fine. I've not been kidnapped as I'm sat here doing this video right now. And if you did enjoy today's video, please give a like, subscribe, turn the bell on so you can see when we upload. Go in the comment section below and leave a nice comment. If you didn't like this video, please tell me why you didn't like it in the comment section below, and I can try and improve it for you so you don't get annoyed next time. And if there is no next time, just leave a like and, move on, it's fine. But yeah, if you do like these videos, please be sure to share them, and check out my Discord in the description below. Check out my Instagram. If you go on my Instagram, you can DM me a story of yours and I will give you a shout out on any social media you want. Just state the social media you want. I can do Instagram, YouTube, Discord, anything, or just tell me to shout them all out at once and it's fine. Or in Discord, there's a stories in real life and you have to tell it in there, and I will do the same thing for you there. So if you did enjoy these stories and you did enjoy this story, then be sure to drop a like and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.